sign for yes, maybe index finger, this sign for yes, this finger. Okay, thank you. Signal for no, this finger, signal for no. Okay, thank you. With the unconscious mind, the inner healer has done its work. Please give me a signal for a yes, or if it needs more time, signal for no. Okay, thank you.
Okay, now you've seen the use of these finger signals, and maybe you will not only ask if the work is already done, you can also ask if maybe the work is not finished at the moment, but it will finish. It will be finished during the session, and or the client only needs more time. You can ask, okay, do you need? You ask the inner healer, do you need more time to solve the problem? And maybe it only needs more time. But if the time is the problem, if the healing work or the change work will not be done completely, then you have to use other techniques. Then you could ask the unconscious or the inner healer, do we have to solve any situation in the past, or do we have to go back to a situation in the past of the client, maybe do an age regression, or maybe a past life regression, or maybe does our client have to forgive someone, anything they have done to him or her, or you can find out by the use of finger signals which technique will be the best to solve the problem of your client. But why do we use finger signals to find out how to solve a problem? It's very easy. In our opinion, in our hypnosis school, we have a very simple and very powerful idea. The only person in the world who really knows the reason for his or her problem and the best way to solve it is our client himself or herself. Of course, in most cases they don't know consciously, but they know it unconsciously, because someone produces his or her symptoms, him or herself. And so the only person in the world who knows why they have a problem and why and how they could solve it are our clients. And we only have to find out which way would be the best to solve it. It's very easy, very simple, and very effective. And if they show you by the use of finger signals that an age regression has to be done, of course they believe consciously and unconsciously that the age regression will solve the problem, and so the age regression will be the best strategy to solve the problem. You understand? They believe consciously and unconsciously that this would be the best strategy, and of course this is the best strategy, no doubt. This will enrich your hypnosis work immediately. Don't do what you think you should do. Do what your client signals you unconsciously you should do to solve the problem with him. Very, very easy, very, very effective. Okay? Once we know the right way, it will be easy. Of course, you have to know the techniques like age regression, past life regression, past therapy, forgiveness work, work with direct suggestions. But you can make your life much easier and prime your clients by telling them in the pre-talk that a special method or technique would be the best, especially in the context with his or her problem. The probability that they choose exactly this technique, also unconsciously, increases extremely, of course, because they trust you and you have told them that maybe age regression is a very, very good method or technique to solve the problem. In the pre-talk, in the session, they will unconsciously, in most cases, be already convinced that age regression is a good way to solve it. And in reality, there are no right and no wrong techniques or methods. There are just things that work better in a better context, and in another context they don't work. If someone doesn't believe in past life regression and think that's not a serious technique, then you will have success by using past life regression with this kind. But that's, I think it's clear. And of course, I know that a lot of hypnotists think that their special techniques and their interventions they've learned in expensive hypnosis schools, they are the key, and they always travel around the world to learn from people new techniques and protocols and methods, and they think that the success lies in these techniques and in these strategies. And maybe they're right, because when they have learned a lot of techniques, they build up the confidence that they are good hypnotists, and when they have the confidence that they are good hypnotists, their success rates will increase. But it's not, or the techniques are not the reason why they are getting more successful. It's because their mind changes, their beliefs change. I know a lot of hypnotists that only use one single technique. I know hypnotists that use only age regression or only past life regression, or they have thought out a new way to think. Okay, my way is the best. I know one hypnotist who does smoking cessation only by touching one's forehead and telling them, you're a non-smoker now and for the rest of your life. It's everything he does, but with absolutely confidence, because it works for him. It's only this one strategy, and it's very successful. Why? Because he thinks, he's convinced that his method works, and his clients are convinced too. And so, client convinced, hypnotist convinced, successful technique. If you would use this technique, you said, boom, you're now a non-smoker now and for the rest of your life, and you don't believe in this technique, you will not have any successes. You just have to understand that you don't have to learn techniques and more techniques and go to the next course and learn the next strategy or technique or linguistic patterns or whatever, because that's not the key to success. You have to find your personal way, your technique, the techniques that fit to your as personality. And then you use these techniques with conviction, and you will notice that your success rates will increase immediately. Because, as I've told before, we transmit our unconscious beliefs and thoughts and convictions. Okay. But now I'm gonna show you several techniques we can use, especially in this self-healing state we have learned before because they fit together, and one of these techniques is the age regression. I'm sure you'll know age regression. If you don't know age regression, I highly recommend that you learn something about age regression, because age regression is a very powerful tool in hypnosis, because we can do a lot of change work, of healing work, by going back to the cause, and by, I wouldn't say fix it, because we cannot fix it, but we can reframe it, we can alternate history, we can do the change. Not today, we could do the change work when it occurred in the original situation. So age regression is a powerful technique, and if you use age regression already, it's fine, and if you don't, please read, learn something about it, visit the course. It's I don't think it's the one and only technique, but it's good to know, and in a lot of cases I think about 30 to 40% of our the clients that come to our hypnosis practice, we use age regression. I know in other schools they use in 90 or 100% of the cases age regression, but I have a lot of years, many years experience in hypnosis, and we have noticed that you need about in 30 to 40% of the cases in normal, usual hypnosis session. Not if you use the techniques we've learned in this course. If you do hypnosis as only by relaxation, element induction, whatever, and this well-known way every hypnotist does, then we can say that about 30 to 40% of the cases, of course, depends on what topics your clients have, but around about 30 to 40% you will need to do an age regression for easy change. Of course, other techniques would also work. You don't have, you could also say you'll never use age regression and you will also have success, but in a lot of cases it's the easiest way to have to do successful change or healing. Okay, but what about age regression in connection with our techniques? And in combination with our techniques, you can do the age regression much faster, and so we call it instant regression. But you have to think about that the truth, the history of our clients we get to know by the use of age regression is not the historic truth. There are two realities. There is a objective and a subjective reality, and in age regression we always work with the subjective reality. This means that what they experience in the session is not definitely true. It's possible that it's a creation of their unconscious mind. It doesn't matter, because you can solve the problems by the story they have created, but maybe it's not the truth, and that might be a problem. If they thought that someone has done something bad to them or hurt them or something like that, and it's not true, this might be a problem. And so you have to tell your clients that it's possible in age regression to get false memories, also called false memory syndrome.